Thinking about a type of delivery, there is manuscript delivery, and that is when you're reading the entire thing. There is speaking from memory, obviously, where you have the formal name already is memorized everything. We've got speaking impromptuly, which is basically, okay, jump up and give a speech. You don't have time to prepare. And then we have extemporaneous, and that is what you are doing. You are doing an extemporaneous speech. So I don't want you to do manuscript. You're not reading the entire thing. You're not writing a paper and then reading it. The paper is a different thing. Nor are you memorizing anything, hopefully, because if you get nervous, you'll forget it. I mean, obviously it's not impromptu because you know what the assignment is. You've had time to prepare and do research and do outlines and everything like that. So it's extemporaneous, which basically means that, again, you have had time to prepare, you have practiced and rehearsed, and that you have various notes and keywords and everything like that on your note cards. That's pretty much it. So, you know, just know that there's different types of delivery, and we're doing extemporaneous. And read the stuff starting on page 144 about extemporaneous stuff. I think that's important if you haven't already read that. And I also, again, I already said the stuff that I like about striving for nationalism and enthusiasm. Those 4 things at the beginning of the chapter I think are super cool. Continued. Okay, so what are we thinking about when we think about the voice or vocalics or paralinguistics? My dog is hacking something up. If you could, that's his paralinguistics. If you can hear that. Yeah, what was that? I know it. We're dealing with volume, we're dealing with pitch, we're dealing with rate, we're dealing with pauses, we're dealing with a general overall degree of vocal variety. We're also dealing with pronunciation, articulation, dialect, all of that type of stuff. So this is chapter 18, and the checklist on page 148, what are you barking at, boy? Is very, very good. Practice check for vocal effectiveness. As you practice, does your voice project authority? Is your voice too loud, too soft? Do you avoid speaking in monotone? Is your rate of speech comfortable for listeners? Do you avoid unnecessary vocal fillers like you know, I mean? Do you use silent pauses for strategic effect? Does your voice reflect a variety of emotional expressions? Do you convey enthusiasm? So all these things are things that I'll be looking for. But basically, you know, you wanted to be strategic about it as well. What, Finn? What do you see? You know, you want to be strategic about this, and you can actually use your note cards to put delivery cues. By the way, the thing on note cards, you can use as many as you want to. In fact, I've got note cards right here that are fun. Just I always have note cards just because they're fun. But in any case, where do they talk about note cards? They talk about note cards in your book. But there's lots of different things that you can do. Where the heck is it? Organizing, outline the speech, 112, sampling, preparing a speaking outline. So, examples of delivery cues on page 120, tips for using note cards or sheets of paper on 121. So that stuff could be very, very helpful. And there's actually an example of keyword outline. But you want to think strategically. What about pitch? Should I strategically have a higher pitch or lower pitch? High. High. And do that strategically. Stop in the name of love. So all that stuff, intonation. Speaking rate. You want to adjust your speaking rate. You don't want to speak too quickly, but you don't want to speak too slowly, like the porridge. You want it to be just right. But sometimes you can do it strategically, because if you're speaking faster, it makes things seem more exciting. And you can slow down and go deeper to emphasize certain things. This is important. If you do not remember anything at all from this lecture, remember that if you really want to emphasize a point, slow down, speak lower, and say, this is important. This will be on the examination, but we don't have any examinations. Strategic pauses, sometimes between points or between the introduction and you move, or some, you know, have a quote. That's an excellent quote, isn't it? Strategic pauses, avoid those meaningless vocal fillers. At the end of the day, you want to, sometimes we're not terribly strategic about everything. We don't think through every little, I want it to be pitch high here, low here, fast here, slow here, loud here, soft here. But we do want to have vocal variety. So what we don't want to try to do is to have monotone voice. So if you have a monotone voice, try to liven it up a little bit. And by the way, this is not you when you're speaking. It's you, but it's your public speaking, rhetorical you. You're on stage performing. Okay. And it talks about pronunciation, articulation, and make sure. That's one of the big differences between papers and speeches as well. I know the drill. I mean, you find synonyms and stuff like that make you sound all fancy in papers. But if you do the same thing and then you try to pronounce it and you mispronounce a word, then that impacts your credibility. So just don't plagiarize. Dialect. I hate that stuff. It doesn't really matter. It's all contextual, but we know that people have certain perceptions of people depending on their dialect. This is not dialect classes, whatever. Okay, and then we're thinking about the body. That is the kinesics. We're thinking about things like facial expressions. I got here, even personal appearance, what you wear. You don't have to dress up tomorrow. Wear whatever you want to wear. General body movement, gestures, eye contact. And eye contact is a lot about emotion. A lot of the emotions come through your eyes. And so it talks about animating facial expressions. I love that checklist on page 151. And by the way, this is all chapter 19. Maintain eye contact. Do that scanning. Look around the audience. Use gestures that feel natural. I like the idea of nonverbal immediacy, creating immediacy, sort of a sense of closeness between you and the audience through your delivery. Dress appropriately, but it's up to you. Power, look, whatever. Obviously, you want to practice delivery, focus on the message, plan ahead, blah, blah, blah. Practice 5 times. Many expert speakers recommend practicing your speech about 5 times in its final form. Given that few speeches no longer than 20 minutes, and most are shorter, this represents a maximum of 2 hours of practice time. Time certainly spent well. Okay. And remember that rhetoric is queen of liberal arts. Let's play some cards. Here's the thing that I would do if I were you. Again, I don't expect perfection. I just want you, and I know you'll be nervous, and I want you to just get through it. So, and everything's going to be aces. I can't get this damn thing open. Okay, you're going to spend like a minute just watching me try to open the note cards. Okay, the point that I wanted to try to make here is that to help yourself as you are practicing and everything like that, I'm not going to write on these, but you might have a note card for your introduction, and you might want to write everything down in the introduction. That's cool with me. Keyword for each main point. One of the things that Jill said in class the other day is use different color pens for different parts of the speech. That's awesome. You want to make sure your sources are in there, so you remember to cite your sources. But also, delivery cues. You can say, slow down, pause, speak quicker, louder, or something like that to remind you to have vocal variety. That might be something that you want to do. So have fun with your cards, practice. I look forward to the speeches. That's pretty much all I had to say about delivery. And have a wonderful rest. Oh, I promised Finn, didn't I? Hey, Finn. I promised you would be part of the lecture. Finnegan is going to give a speech. Come on, Finn. Come here. Let's give a speech. Do you want to give a speech about... There you go. The globe. I love globes. How about a monkey? Want to give a speech about a monkey? Hi, you eating the monkey. Finn, you want to eat the monkey? Finn, you're not going to give a speech? Are you scared? Okay. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye.